Hey y'all, this is Ben from Ben Wallace Knives. Today we're going to be working on this knife. It is a part of a two-piece kitchen set that I'm making for a customer, and I'm really excited to get working on it. Let's get cracking. Okay, so I have my steel clamped to the workbench. I'm going to use this angle grinder and cut it right here to get it down to a more manageable size so we can continue to grind and cut and get our final shape down. Alright, we got our steel cut the size. Now what we're going to do is we're going to grind down with the angle grinder and get the blade done first and the handle. Okay, so we have our blade roughed out with the abrasive cutting wheel. Now it's time to change to this grinding wheel to get the shape more down. Okay, so now we have our knife more roughed down. It's getting closer to shape. So now I'm going to get out the belt grinder. We're going to use a 120 grit belt to get this all shaped down. So one thing we do need to do before we sand it is flatten all this out. So I'm just going to take a file. Okay, so now that we're off the belt grinder, I just got to get in here with the half round file and fix up this finger hole. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is mark the center line along the inside of the blade. How we're going to do that is take this Sharpie and color the edge, or what will be the edge of the knife. So after you get the edge completely covered, you're going to take a drill bit that's the same thickness of the steel that you're working with, and you're going to use this little point right here to scribe a line halfway through. So you're just going to set it on a flat surface like your workbench and just pull the blade along it. And you can see it's kind of difficult to see on the camera, but you can see the line that is marked now. That way you can grind your bevels evenly. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is take some super glue. And I've already put tape on this block and the blade. And we're gonna put super glue on this block right here for our bevels and glue the knife to the block. And that will allow us to be able to peel off the tape stuck together still and have no damage to the block or blade, ensuring the life of the block and then making sure easier for the blade to be handled later. Okay, so it's now time to grind the bevels. I'm gonna do this side and then re-glue and tape on the other side. So we have our bevel ground, as you can see, and now we're going to peel it off and do the exact same thing on the other side. Our next step in the build is going to be to heat treat the blade. We're going to heat it up to critical temperature, which is a cherry red hot color on the blade, and it's going to change the crystal structure of the blade, making it a lot harder. Okay, so the forge is heated up and I'm about to put the blade into the fire for about 5 minutes to get up to critical temperature. Alright, so it's up to critical temperature. I'm going to take these bricks off, pull the blade out, dip it in the oil, and it should be good. We'll check if it's straight right afterwards. That's pretty straight. It's a slight warp, but we're not gonna have to worry about that. Now we just gotta sand it down. Okay, we're out of the forge. As you can see, the blade has been heat treated. Check for hardness of the file. And now we're gonna go wash this off and stick it in the oven at 350 for 2 hours. So the blade has been heat treated and tempered. Our next step is gonna be to use the belt grinder and grind all this down. So we now have the knife rough ground. It is time to hand sand. I'm going to start at 100 grit and then move my way up to 1,000. I just finished hand sanding. I got it up to 400 grit. We're going to tape the blade and put a handle on it just like I did in my previous video. Hey y'all, I had a lot of fun working on this knife. Be sure to stay tuned for part 2 where I make the second knife in this set. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to share, like, and subscribe to my channel. I had a lot of cool stuff coming to you in the next few weeks.